Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another high-level Marvel Rivals ranked cast. For y'all, it's been like no days at all, but for me, it has been quite a few days. I've been out of the country, but I am now back. It feels good to be back. I have missed commentating, and I have already found a spectacular game because I missed all of the alterations in how the leaderboard has been in my time away. I've not been able to access Marvel Rivals, but I immediately came back. I started scrolling through games to find a good one, and I immediately found one with Hogz and Coluge, both players who were ex-tanks for Sentinels, and this time they're against each other, and I thought that that would be a spectacular choice. So, for starters, thank you all for joining me here today. You may be wondering why I have gathered you all here today. But it's because we have some absolutely spectacular games for you. I haven't even looked at my analytics, actually. Let's look to see how close we are to the 5,000 subs. 4,966, 34 subs to go. And then I will be starting to live stream on Twitch. Make sure you follow that in the description. And sometimes, especially around MRC time, on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like the sound of that. And of course, a big shout out to our members. I have been a bit away, so this is a bit of a catch up. So shout out to our members, Puff Mendili, Doki Pokey, and John. Thank you all very much for your support in helping keep this channel going. I very much do my best to just try and bring you the games that look fun and just be a commentator, because that's my job. I used to do it for Heroes of the Storm. I used to do it for StarCraft. I used to do it a little bit for Dota Underlords. Who remembers that game? I was a commentator for 15 years, give or take. And I then took like 2 to 3 years off, and now I'm back in because this game is so good and I enjoy covering it so much. So if you love what I loved, if you love me doing what I love, then subs, likes, comments, all that stuff to help boost the algorithm is incredibly appreciated. I do this because I love it, but every inch of support, every iota of support, I don't know, every bit of support is so incredibly appreciated. Let's get into our game, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading to Krakoa, and we are in Domination. We got some big names here. We got Skier, Hogz, Lord Freezer. I can't do that voice, but I try my best. We got Logan, Energy, incredible player, Coluge. This is a stacked lobby. NX. This is a huge lobby here. Looks like we're going to see the Groot banned out against the Iron Fist. Groot is one of the go-to tanks at the moment. This is, obviously, I'm recording this on the 5th. So this is, I believe, post the little nerfs that we get to Captain America, if I remember correctly. I'll double-check that. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. 1, because it will tell me that I'm wrong, and you will all enjoy that. And 2, because it will help with my engagement. So please do. Adam Warlock and Psylocke look like they will be the next ban. Warlock sneaking back in once again. Cooldown reduction on their healing. If you land those headshots, you can keep that healing going quite effectively. It's a really big buff to good Adam Warlock players. Good hit scan players. Suddenly get some huge value there. Energy back on the Iron Man. One of their top heroes from earlier in Season 0 and in early Season 1, but mostly Season 0. Sneaking their way back in here. Meaning they got a double flyer team here. No Hulk, which was not banned here. We're just going with a different lineup here. Now, Iron Man, they did get slightly altered to make them, in general, a little more balanced between the team-up form and the not team-up form. So cool to see. For now, though, let us introduce our players, ladies and gentlemen. On the left-hand side, in the blue trunks, it is going to be Skier on the Lunar Snow. Flamay is playing that Loki. Hogz will be busted out that Venom. Really Sticky 99 is on Spider-Man. Lord Freezer is playing the... I promise I won't do that every game we have them in. They are playing the Emma Frost. And iEatBugz will be on that Human Torch. And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, it will be ChenZo playing the Human Torch. Coluge on the Emma Frost. Energy bringing out the Iron Man. Logan is on Lunar Snow, sorry. NX will be bringing out that Magneto. And Valentina Eva is playing the Invisible Woman. Energy is already gone. Really sticky guy with the first pickup of the game. with a huge elimination there and is already wrapping around to the back for more. Currently wrapping around with Venom. There's a little bit of team-up coordination. Collusion, one might say, as Coluge is dropped low and taken out, but really sticky. Goes down in exchange. ChenZo trading it a little bit here. iEatBugz is trying to land the hits onto them. Energy swapping off of the Iron Man onto the Winter Soldier. Huge hits onto the Human Torch there. Looking for the final shot, but the healing comes out. Will top them back to full as Skier will be eating the shots in exchange. Flaming Meteor to get them out of danger here. Looking for that bionic hook. Does not land it. Full Satanic Shock pulled in by Spider-Man. Gets a little bit of shielding, and that will be enough to get energy out of dodge here. Coluge at the moment is the #1 player on the leaderboard, not just an X-Tank. Currently, what looks like to be a tank for the team Envy, which I do not know the full roster for yet. I might have missed a tweet. But the #1 player, tank for a top team. This is a player to keep watching. iEatBugz holding the liners. Right now, blue team do have control. Hogz with a little bit of swinging hops. Big dive with the frenzied arrival into the backline. Allowing Spider-Man to capitalize. They go with the Valentina Eva to try and get up the pickup. iEatBugz will be the first to fall though, as Supernova comes out from ChenZo to control the point, create an entranceway, which they have to run through. Skier will run through. Flaming Meteor, invisible boundary to try and hold the line. As Really Guy takes out Logan. Valentina will keep red team on the point, but they are down a member here. Trying to trade it out as Hogz is becoming really difficult to finish off here. Feast from the Abyss coming out, and we have the extra amazing spin if need be. Not gonna use it, just gonna hold on to that. Skier keeps the team topped up. Blue team in dominant fashion right now are holding this point. Head on out, keep the team topped up. Energy on this Winter Soldier does have the Kraken impact with the new skin as well, with the Thunderbolt skin. They're going for a wraparound. One more attempt at making their way onto the point. Good knockback onto really sticky. Absolutely outplayed, but they gotta touch the point. And they don't do so in time. They get the elimination, but blue team are able to hold the distractions just enough for time-wise. And that is going to be point #1 for the blue team, taking the cradle as we head to the Grove. A lot more buildings to hide behind on this map. This makes the flyers even more powerful. As such, we're going to keep seeing those Human Torches, and outside of the fact that they're just insanely good. If we were to look at damage done right now, we would see the Human Torches are in fact dominating. 5k, almost 6k for iEatBugz, 6.4k for ChenZo. Massively ahead, almost, in fact, yeah, over double literally anyone else in the game with those damage numbers. Human Torch, while they're not a huge burst finisher hero, they do have that Flaming Meteor to try and isolate people, but they are certainly doing the job of getting this damage output ready, zoning out onto objectives, and really stacking up those numbers.
The battle starts in 5, 4.
Blue team with the lead as we are going to be heading out. It's a new map, so let's watch Spider-Man rollouts. Straight through the gap. A little bit of a wall bounce. Is that on purpose? Because that was gorgeous. High, above, lands it. Onto the invisible woman. Into the Coca Dagger, sorry, with this spectacular spin, but it's not going to be enough to finish anyone else off. Ends up being a 1-for-1. Going for the fastest rollout they could do there. But that distraction is still giving blue team enough time to be the first onto the point here. Fate of Both Worlds was dropped though, meaning positioning is going to be a little bit harder to get through here. Energy has moved on to the Namor here as NX Meteoram takes out Skier. Really Sticky Guy goes down again to ChenZo. That's going to be that psionic seduction from Lord Freeze to try and set that through as iEatBugz goes down. Supernova from ChenZo, and it looks like a red team are starting to get some momentum. Flaming Meteor, it's the double, and that's going to be red team dominating this first point. Hogz sniped mid-air. And the trading is good. ChenZo's got the healing, able to sustain through easily. Poking away, dueling with Spider-Man there, who wanted to try and set that up. iEatBugz has Supernova Energy dealing with the Spider-Man onto the Namor again without the Hulk here, just relying on their own turrets, taking a little bit of damage, going to elevate themselves up to the high ground so they can try and get the focus onto that Spider-Man as in comes the Aquatic Dominions, waiting for Spider-Man to dive on them so they can hoard a Proteus. Taking a lot of damage. Beautiful mid-air pickup. Not going to lose that duel. Now they are here with their team. They don't need to worry about getting flanked from behind. They can just keep this damage on the output. Skier takes the hit. Aquatic Dominion to try and focus onto the backline members, but the Fate of Both Worlds is going to shut that down. Lord Freezer takes out Logan. Energy is down by iEatBugz, and blue team clean out the point. That is going to be 51% to 16, but that is blue team back in control. Going to the point, focusing on to iEatBugz. Keeping them topped up. Really sticky. Swing it in, takes a little bit of damage, forced to back away. Spider-Man is so mobile though, very hard to deal with. Spider-Man is very effective here. Aquatic Dominions, they auto-target. Supernova coming out from iEatBugz to try and burst on through once again, trying to cut off the entrances here, making it very hard for anyone to take an advantageous position. Horde of Proteus came out. Flamay will be the one to fall here, but iEatBugz is uncontested right now, doing huge damage. Meteor M coming in from NX takes out Skier, removing a lot of that healing output as they try to take the fight to them. ChenZo with their own Supernova, controlling the point. They already had the numbers advantage, but they are not done. Flaming Meteor for a dive through the doorway into the risky position. They're trying to take out iEatBugz, but the healing is just too much. Not able to get the finishing blow. Good pressure. Trying to get onto Lord Freezer. Spider-Man in the backline. Flaming Meteor to try and block it. Using terrain to block it, but Spider-Man still able to get onto Valentina Eva. Onto Hogz. Pushing on through. Coluge has brought out the Doctor Strange. Holds Portal, but they're still trying to duel this, but blue team has retaken control. It's 67 to 76 right now in favor of that red team. Hogz is AFK. They're back. We're good. We're Gucci. Blue team have control. Here comes the rollout. Coluge, they have Portal, not using it yet. They still got time. They can touch the point. Taking a lot of damage. Hogz, a little bit of poke there. Ah, I see. Hogz breaking it down. Coluge tries to punish, gonna get focused down, making their way in. Here comes the clone from Valentina Eva. That's gonna give them that Fate of Both Worlds. They can try and contest this now, but iEatBugz with another Supernova to cut off this entrance and maximize damage output to try and burn through. They're doing a huge amount of damage here as Hogz picks up the double. Hogz doing huge work right now, gets knocked down with that Horde of Proteus just came off cooldown, but red team have been obliterated here, and there's no one even close to try and interrupt to give Coluge time for that portal. And that is going to be GG, a 2-0 going over to the blue team. Nicely done. iEatBugz taking the MVP there. Let's give it a second. The new patch has made it so that this end screen actually takes a little bit of time to show up sometimes. I'm not entirely sure why. That on my game is crashing. Okay, MVP. There we go. That just happens now. That is just a thing that we have. Hey, pass my video runtime, I guess. All right, let's look at these statistics. The Human Torches, actually pretty even, but there is a huge damage difference here. Let's look at these. We got 13 eliminations here compared to 22. ChenZo getting taken out 4 times compared to iEatBugz 2. 11 final hits to 8. The difference here, though, energy. Swapping to the Namor, it definitely helped as the game went on, but really sticky. Didn't have a lot of other competition outside of that Namor, and as such, they basically had full freedom to do whatever they wanted. That was just Spider-Man being able to outplay, being able to counter, and be able to do well. As such, they got 9 final hits, 12 eliminations, 1 less than ChenZo, but an extra final hit. Again, not much damage, but you don't expect to see that on a Spider-Man. You expect to see Spider-Man finish off people efficiently, not pad damage numbers. If you see a low damage Spider-Man, That is acceptable if they make up for it with those high takedowns, high final hits. It does make a difference, and preferably not going down too many times. You can see there Spider-Man did go down 7 times. You've got to wonder if that 9 to 7 elimination to getting eliminated ratio is worth it. That's where you start to see a little bit of a difference. You start to question, was Spider-Man the right choice here? But it did seem to work out, punishing those backline members. You look at the backline here, 6 times getting eliminated for Valentina Eva, 6 times for Logan, even ChenZo getting taken down 4 times. Did make a difference here. Lord Freezer, though, popping off, only getting taken out 1 time, lowest in the game. Able to do 8k damage, which is bad as well, almost as much as energy. Blocked 19k damage, which is the highest in the game. Lord Freezer, absolutely solid gameplay here. Let's talk about the top numbers now. We've already talked about eliminations and final hits, both of which go over to iEatBugz. We've talked about least amount of times getting eliminated. Top damage is, of course, iEatBugz as well. 22k, really stacking up with that Human Torch. Literally 10 times the amount, or just under 10 times the amount of damage done by Valentina, and over 10 times the amount of damage done by Logan. Doing some very good work there. Most damage blocked, we've already mentioned that for Lord Freezer. Most healing done by the strategist. It is going to be Flamay, which is interesting considering they were on, I believe, a different character to start, but on the Loki, they were still able to pad up quite a bit as well. 20k healing, 4k more than Valentina, 5k than Logan, and 9k more than Skier. Very interesting, really stacking up those numbers here. But hey, the game was won, the match successfully secured. That's going to be blue team climbing the points. Coluge, #1 player, did get taken out in that match, did go for a little bit of flexibility here. But in this case, I think this might be a more compositional thing. There was definitely some gameplay stuff. I'm not a huge expert, of course. I am not the best player. I will never pretend to be the best player. All I can do is give the best analysis I can. If you want the best analysis, you should look to a pro player. I am just simply going to give caster analysis from a sort of general overview the best I can. In this case, it definitely seemed to be that Spider-Man was very unchecked, which is a little bit more surprising, and that they were able to play a little bit more teamwork-wise in terms of actually isolating with their ultimates. Hogz is definitely a big part of that as well. Using that Spider-Man Venom combo meant that they were able to do huge work being disruptive, which again there wasn't a lot of counter towards. While Loki can delay, Luna Snow can't do much, but you still kind of need Luna Snow for the Human Torch, otherwise you're kind of relying on Invisible Woman, which might have been the choice to try and at least slow down the Venom, but at this, I am again not the person to talk to here. Leave a message in the comments saying what do you think might have been the adjustments needed if they wanted to try and turn that game around. For now though, it's good to be back. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I have been Tetcher. Make sure you like the video so that you can support against the YouTube algorithm that is definitely behind me. It's definitely not something else. YouTube algorithm is fighting against trying to not show my videos, so liking, commenting, sharing with your friends if you want to. Making clips on YouTube is a thing you can do, or just record them yourself. I don't mind if people pirate my videos within reason. Don't just repost a whole video. But if people want to use my clips for anything else, for highlights or anything like that, or just to put on social media, I have no issue with that. Please do. It's promotion for me. I think that more media should be a little more open source and should be like a little more allowed to use, because copyright is useful, but is a little abused, I think, in modern day, because memes wouldn't exist if copyright was enforced hyper effectively, and I like memes. That's my argument. I guess my argument for copyright boils down to I like memes. Yay! So if you want to use my stuff within reason, if you're a jerk about it, I'm gonna like come and say, hey, maybe chill out, maybe don't repost my entire streams or my entire videos, please. But otherwise, go nuts, please have fun, please use my content. It would be lovely if you did. It would help the channel grow. Preferably, you know, cite the source, which is me. For now though, I'm gonna go rest. It's the day after I got back. I like flew in yesterday, slept most of today, said goodbye to my partner like when they drove home, and now here, straight back to work. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I have been Tetcher, and I will see you all tomorrow.